Hey everyone, as you probably already saw in the title, my car doesn't start. About 2 weeks ago, when I tried to start it, I turned it and it was just clicking. I didn't really have the time to diagnose it, or I don't really have that kind of mechanical knowledge to know what's going on just by hearing it. But, let's check it out together. Doing a little bit of research since then, when it doesn't start, they always say it's either the battery, starter, or alternator. So let's see which one it is. To me, I hope it's just the battery, since sadly to say, you're going to be upset that I don't really drive this car a lot, and I do know the age of the battery also. It's May now, and I've probably only driven it about 2 or 3 times this year. So it kind of sits a lot. And I know the battery is from 2018. So that's about 7 years old, which was replaced at the same time as the starter. So I know batteries typically don't last too long or that long. So let's just go through the steps and see, what it's looking like. I'm wondering if there's supposed to be any light or anything. I'm not so sure about it. Yeah, so let's give it a turn and see what it sounds like. Oh, that was not good. I don't know what the heck that was. I don't know why headlights are on either because I turned them off. So yeah, that was kind of scary. Radio on? No, it wasn't on. Let me just unplug this other extra stuff just in case. All right, so maybe someone with mechanical knowledge will know instantly what that is. I don't have that knowledge, so let's get into diagnosing it. Yeah, so since then, I did manage to pick up a multimeter, so let's read where the battery's at. Yeah, so this is the only multimeter I was able to find, and one of the probes, the wires or the probes is off, but hopefully it still works. And if you didn't know, I haven't used this a multimeter in like a decade, but we're looking for DC voltage, so you want it in, any of these would work, but you want it in 20 because it would be, I think, more of that scale, because we're looking for 12 around that number. If you go up, it would just be like a decimal, like 0.12, something like that, I think. Black will be at the ground, COM, and then you want to set the other one, probe, because we're doing voltage DC. We're looking for the V, voltage. So yeah, let's see what it reads out. Start with turning it on. Okay, so I think the black one, I'll just leave it here. And I do just hope that it is my battery, because that would be a lot easier than anything else, I think. Yeah, so it is reading low. Seems to be at 11. Should be around 12, mid 12. And so I am going to jumpstart it just to see if I can recharge this up, because I don't know. I know it's old, but what if there's still maybe a little bit of life in it? I know it'll need eventual changing, but we can charge it up and see if it can hold that charge. So when jump starting a car, you want to connect the positive terminal to the dead car, then positive, then negative to the working car, and finally negative to an unpainted part of the dead car's chassis. One thing I forgot to do when jumping the car was to turn off the Toyota. I should have started the car after all the connections were made. Alright, with that plugged in, let's see if it changed anything back here. I'm actually not sure if it did, but I just want to look anyway. Well, it does seem to be higher now. So let's see if the car will start. Alright, here we go again. And sweet, it is up and running. Turn the headlights off. Let's go check the voltage in the back. Alright, so if the alternator is working, it should be above 12. And that is right, it's about 14. So now I can disconnect the other car, since it is charging this battery. And since the car started, it wasn't my starter, the voltage is up 14, and if I disconnect the other car, it should still remain running because it's supplying power to the car. So that's how I know it is the battery. But I don't know if the battery is bad, even though it probably is because of age, or it's just because I don't drive it often. Alright, so the car is disconnected from the other car, and let's see where it's at. Looks like still on the 14, so it's good. It's either, charging or running off the alternator. Also, another random question for you guys. I was just wondering if, I'm not sure if it'll pick up on camera, but all this white exhaust smoke or vapor is a bad sign of my car health. Yeah, I don't know if it's just because it's warming up or I haven't driven it a lot. Let me know if you have any ideas. So here, I'm just measuring the battery because when I use one of those online filters like AutoZone, I get a range of sizes available and not just one. They showed sizes from 47 to 49 or H5 to H7. And on the battery, it doesn't show any sizing either, just some specs and a part number. So the approximate dimensions I got here are 10 and 7/8, 6 and 7/8, and 7.5 inches. And according to that, I think my battery falls into the H6 or 48 group sizing. If you don't know your size, I think you could just measure yours lengthwise too, since I think that our cars can fit the range of 47 to 49 or H5 to H7 because I think there's a removable piece at the bottom that you can swap to accommodate all these sizes, and the only different dimension would be that length. So if you wanted a different size battery because you wanted a different spec range like cranking amps or capacity, you can either change or remove that adapter. Do what's best for your use condition. I think this is why when I called one of the dealerships, they couldn't give me an answer to which battery I needed. I had to provide the part number or specs. Speaking about dealerships, I called 3 of them to check the prices of the battery, and they seemed to be around $290, more or less depending if you want the 70 or 80 amp or regular or AGM battery. Now when it comes to installation and registering, this is where it gets a little wild. One of them wanted over $400 to do the install, and the other 2 around $300. When I asked a single independent shop, they wanted $200 and recommended I could just get the battery from the dealer or Costco if I wanted. The topic of Z4 battery needing registering or not seems to be highly debated online on the forums and chats, but seems to lean more towards no. When I asked the 3 dealers, 2 of them said no, and 1 said only if I got the AGM battery. And the independent shop said they do since or after 2006. I don't remember which one. So yeah, no definitive answer. Now, doing even deeper research, they say that there's supposed to be a sensor attached to the negative terminal to determine if you need registering. But I don't see anything fancy on there, although there is this over here, but I'm not even sure if that's related. I'm thinking when I do replace the battery, I'll get a scan tool capable of registering since I can get one cheaper than the shop's installation cost. Plus, it would be nice just to have one around anyways, even if registering wasn't necessary. Alright, so it's been about 30 minutes now, so I'm going to turn off the car and see how it is. And it seems like I also got a tire pressure warning, so probably also related to me not driving, sadly to say. But yeah, let's go check out the voltage on the battery. Alright, so it's been about 20 minutes since I turned off the car, since I got interrupted with something else. And let's see where the voltage is at. Right, so it seems to be at mid 12s, which is a good sign. And it seems like it is charged back up. I'm not going to start the car again now because I don't really have anywhere to go or need to go anywhere. But I'll come back in a week and see if the battery still holds this charge. I think if it doesn't, that's probably not a good sign, or it doesn't have good health. So we'll see in a week or so when I come back, or if I have somewhere to go. All right, everyone, so I'm back 3 days later just to see where the voltage is at and see if it stayed or dropped. Something I didn't know and that I researched while I was away was when I initially checked the voltage for the first time. As you saw, it was about 11, and I saw the chart, or the range that is stated what should be good or bad, and that was pretty much in the bad, like the worst category. So yeah, that's not a good sign. And let's see if the voltage stayed from the last time I measured right after disconnecting. And I think I remember it was at like 12.3. See if it dropped or stayed. I think if it's dropped, it's probably not a good sign, right? In just 3 days. Hasn't moved. So let's see. Sorry about this wire. Okay, so 11.9. So it dropped to like 0.4, around that much in 3 days. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure if that's good or bad, but I don't think that's a really good voltage to be at. Also, shout out to Chris Fix. I kind of learned how he was diagnosing some parasitic draws, so maybe I'll give that a try to see if there's something really sapping this battery while it sits. So according to Chris Fix, I want to remove the negative terminal and put your multimeter in series, like bridging the gap between the terminal. So I think you have to put it in amps, I think. Milliamps, probably here. Hopefully that's correct. Not sure how I'm gonna keep this all together with these terrible probes, but yeah, hopefully stays all right. Okay, lifted that up. So it's looking about 26 or 30 milliamps, around that much, which I wouldn't say is a lot, actually. I don't think. And hopefully I did that correctly, because I think the recommended range is less than 50 milliamps, around that. So I think that's pretty good for parasitic draw. I mean, I have the trunk open. I'm pretty sure the battery's always the radio is always kind of on, and I got the trunk light also on. Not gonna tighten too much. And just the last thing I'm gonna do to check the health of this battery is I'm gonna go over to Advanced Auto Parts, or you can go to any nearby auto supply store and they'll test your battery, and let's just see what they say. I'm sure they got better tools and know more than I do, so hopefully the car starts up at that lower voltage, about 11.9. I think a healthy battery should be about 12.6 volts. So let's see if it starts, and hopefully it does, because at least if it gets to the auto shop and then battery dies or something, I'm sure they can help me out there. And plus, Advanced Auto is a little bit farther, so I have a little bit more time to charge up my battery. And something I did see on their website was they do battery registrations for free if you buy a battery there. I'm not going to buy a battery there, but I'm just going to ask if this car needs it, since I'm still trying to get answers. I have a Instagram poll going right now. Ask if you need to register this BMW battery, and I'll post a result when it finishes. All right, moment of truth, everyone. Let's see if it will start at a low, borderline good, bad voltage level, 11.9. See if it starts. Hopefully it does. Oh, sweet. Still got low tire pressure, but I'll handle that later. Tires look okay, so yeah, I'll see you when I get back or at the auto supply store. Alright, so I'm here at O'Reilly's Auto Parts because I didn't realize Advanced closed a lot of California locations, so yeah, I won't be able to know about the battery registration, but I don't know how far I drove, but let's see what the voltage is at after I got here driving this distance. 12.2. Yeah, it doesn't seem like charged all the way up, but still something. I was surprised that I was even able to start the car a second time, even if I was thinking the battery was bad. So we'll see what they say. Alright, so I'm here at AutoZone. Let's see what the voltage is at. Driving this another short distance. So it seems to be getting higher after some driving, so good sign. Alright, so I just got back from multiple stops, and let's see where the final voltage is at for now. .3. So at O'Reilly's, when I got it tested, they said my battery was in good health and just needed charging. And from there, I had to make a stop at another place. And then from there, I went to AutoZone just because, just to want to see if they said the same thing. And they did. They said it was in good health, and it was about 64% charged and just needs some charging. And at both places, you could leave your battery there and they will charge it up for you. or we could just drive it. And honestly, I was surprised, but not so surprised that it was in good health, because I don't think driving the distance that I went to the auto parts store and be able to turn the car off and on repeatedly would have worked with like a bad battery. So, you know, that's definitely good news for me. And I didn't really expect, I really expected that in this video I was going to replace the battery. And just tell you about it, just to let you know if I needed to replace the battery, what I, I guess before I get to that, also leaving here from the house, something interesting was, I noticed that the clock was off, probably maybe because I disconnected, but the one touch up and down of the windows wasn't really working. But towards, the end of getting here, it was working. So that's just something interesting to note, maybe because the state of the battery got higher. And like I was saying, if I were to replace the battery, I think I would have just gone to Costco and got the cheaper one, the lead acid one, because I think from what I read in the forums, the white BMW batteries are lead acid, and this seemed to last a very long time. As you can see, 2018, it is 2025, so it's probably gonna last, plus a 3-year warranty from Costco. The AGM battery costs about $55 more, and I'm not sure if it's really worth that cost. I'm sure it would last a little bit longer and serve me better because my car sits, maybe, but I'm not really sure if I wanted to make that investment anyways. And it's a big price difference, so I could replace the cheaper one multiple times anyway. And getting to when I replaced the battery, would I have programmed the car? I don't think so, because it seems like it's leaning more towards people saying, no, I don't need to program the battery, right? I got 2 dealers out of 3 telling me I don't need to program it. And on Instagram, I have a poll going on. Shout out to everyone that participated, and thank you. It's really leaning heavily towards no right now. I'll put the results up. And another thing is that I've read that, or looked at, there should be like a sensor here to indicate that you need programming, because so I think that's it. Well, I guess I spoke earlier about changing an adapter plate down there. It may be hard to see the little piece holding it in, but I think if you remove that piece, you can have a bigger battery, like I said. This I think I classified as a H6 48 group size. If you remove that, it'll probably be a H7 49 group size. And if you get a different piece adapter, you can probably size down to a H5 47 group size. Just get what suits your needs. Since I didn't replace the battery, I'm not going to have a tutorial about it, but I don't think it's that difficult anyway. 10 mil Phillips head, right? 10 mil here. Replace the vent tube. I think that's it. So thanks for following along, diagnosing why my car didn't start. Sorry, I've never done this before, so I apologize if I don't seem so smart about it and about this topic. And I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.